Hey guys, welcome to today's Vehicle Visionary. Today, a friend of mine has loaned me his 2020 Dodge Charger. This is the SXT blacktop version. And of course, there are multiple trim levels and options available, special graphics packages and a wide body edition, all that good stuff to really allow you to personalize your Charger. But one thing that really sets Dodge apart with the Charger from other car manufacturers is the fact that most have abandoned full-size muscle cars, but that's definitely not lacking in the case of the Charger. Okay guys, as you can see from this view, like I said, the Charger has managed to retain a very muscular look. It's a fairly wide car, long wheelbase, and it just looks powerful. And when you drive it down the road, of course, the size of the car overall is going to equate to a nice, smooth ride. But people who typically buy these cars want to know about horsepower, torque, and all of that good information. So let's open the hood and see what this particular model offers. Okay guys, let's talk a little bit about what's under the hood of this particular model, the SXT. It's a 3.6 liter 6-cylinder engine. And a lot of people might say, oh man, that's not going to be much fun. But at 292 horsepower and 260 foot-pounds of torque, it's not really lacking for power and ability to get you down the road and have a little bit of fun. It's made it to an 8-speed automatic transmission, and considering the fact that many years ago vehicles like the 3.8 liter V6 Mustang in the year 2000, for example, were making less than 200 horsepower, well, this is actually a lot more impressive. And we'll get it out on the road and do a test drive in just a little while and see how it performs. Okay guys, and real quick before I move on, let's talk a little bit about these rims. Very nice looking rims. Something Dodge is known for is having a lot of nice looking features. You've got the spoiler on the trunk, and you've got these 20-inch rims that do help to set this car apart and just make it look a little more menacing. So what about cargo space? Obviously, this being a larger vehicle, kind of a family style vehicle, a full-size sedan, you're going to want to haul things around. Not going to be a big problem with a combined total of 16.5 cubic feet in the trunk. And of course, you can lower the rear seats to maximize that cargo space. Okay guys, let's talk quickly about the front seat here. And of course, you're going to find everything you expect to. But the good news is, again, there's plenty of room up here. All the typical Dodge features. You have the Dodge logo on the steering wheel. The dashboard looks nice and really racy. I like the fact that you can bring up the digital speedometer if you want to, and of course go through and make many changes. You've got the steering wheel mounted controls, even voice commands available on this trim level. And if you're wondering about the price of this particular model, since I didn't get this from the dealership, I'm not going to be able to bring that image up, but a little bit over $32,000 is what the sticker price on this particular model of Charger actually was. Not too terribly bad. All the typical bells and whistles. Like I say, steering wheel mounted controls. You've got controls on the rear of the steering wheel for the radio. And of course, the infotainment screen here with a plethora of options, features, everything you would basically expect to find. Of course, you can go into the settings and change just about anything you want to. I'm showing you all of that on the screen. There's just so much there. I don't want to take too much time on that. Now, if you're looking at the steering wheel, it does have a nice little cover on it that the owner has put on. Some nice little stripes down here on the bottom, so I'm not taking that off right now, but not a big deal. Of course, the air conditioning controls right here and the radio controls, and a pretty sporty looking shifter in the center console here. A little bit of storage in front of that, along with a 12-volt power outlet, a little storage bin right there next to the shifter, a couple of cup holders, and a nice large deep console. Okay guys, we're out here with the Charger on the road, and you might notice I didn't talk about multiple driving modes. There is a sport mode. There's an interesting little trick to that. You're not going to go through and find a lot of different driving modes. All you have to do to go into sport mode with this Charger is turn traction control off, and you'll see a change on the dashboard that lets you know that that's worked. So I'm cruising along here, and I have to admit, it's very smooth, which is about what I expected. Even though we're not really driving on a bad road, we're going to drive over some railroad tracks in about 30 seconds or so. And then we'll get to find out. And I haven't stepped on it just yet, but the acceleration is nice and smooth, which is always a good thing. And I don't have any pictures to show y'all. Maybe I can find one somewhere on the internet to show you, but actually I owned a Dodge Charger. It was an RT, I believe, back in 2007, a very dramatic difference between the two cars. I don't remember the horsepower that it was making, but I don't think it was as much as this particular model is making today. But then again, that was 13 years ago. But it was a fun little car to drive, or large car to drive, I should say. And here's the thing. That model did not have an infotainment screen in the center of the dashboard. So that's how long ago it was. So we're gonna cruise over these railroad tracks real quick and get a little bit of an idea about how well the car rides. Not too bad. Of course, we're on some paved roads, and so not gonna really be able to do too much. Step on it just a little bit there. The acceleration is actually pretty impressive. It's really smooth. We'll find out here in just a minute. I'll get on it a little bit more and see how it accelerates here. Find out how the Charger corners. Obviously, being a larger car with a wider stance, it's not going to corner like a typical sports car, but with the wider stance of this car compared to a smaller vehicle, that's going to help in cornering. And if you watched my video a while back, probably 3 weeks ago or so, from the time when I'm publishing this video, when I did the RS 6-cylinder Camaro, that shock Camaro, that was when that Charger was messing with me on the road, and he was not taking it easy. He was able to go through some of those corners, if you go back and watch that video, at a pretty good rate of speed. Now, I'm taking the corners that we're going through here a little bit above the speed limit, and going through that corner back there that we just went through, the body roll was very minimum, just a little bit, but it was very smooth in how the car took the corner. The steering was nice and responsive. We're not going super duper fast, but at the same time, I'm just kind of curious to see what a larger, heavier car is going to do while we're on the road. Unfortunately, I have somebody in front of me who looks like they are about to turn. I'm not sure what they're doing. There we go, somebody turned there, so I'm not gonna get to do exactly what I wanted to do here, but it is what it is. So we'll just kind of keep going here. I'm almost back up to the speed limit. We'll accelerate a little bit. Okay, I'm actually over the speed limit. Little bit of body roll there, coming out of the corner. I'll slow down so I don't get on this guy's tail, but that's not too bad. I think if I was more used to the steering, I probably could have minimized that. That was probably more my fault than anything else. So let's slow down here. There's nobody around. That's one thing I like about doing these test drives, and just see what the acceleration is like. A little bit of road noise. You're able to hear the engine pretty good. Not that that's that big of a deal, but you definitely do hear the engine. Not the most quiet interior, but not terribly bad at the same time. I really have to say, other than hearing the engine, the road noise itself is not bad. So ultimately, the interior does seem to remain rather quiet. But again, we're on a pretty smooth road, so it's kind of hard to tell. But I know from driving other vehicles through the same area, now there is more road noise than other vehicles I've driven. So other than really hearing the engine working as you put it through its paces, it's really pretty quiet here in the Charger. Of course, I look forward to doing a Charger with a larger motor. In fact, if anybody out there has a Hellcat Charger, or maybe a Jeep Trackhawk, hit me up, guys. If you're in the Northwest Louisiana area, those are a couple of vehicles I'd really like to do. All right, guys, that's it for today's video. But tell me, do you own a Charger or plan to own a Charger? Tell me about it in the comments. Even if you have a YouTube channel with some videos, I'd like to check that out. And make sure to tell me what you want to see me feature here on the Vehicle Visionary YouTube channel in future videos. And I would like to thank my friends Alexis and Dakota for loaning me their car for the day. It was a lot of fun to make this video, fun to drive, and of course, I'm thankful to have Dakota helping me out on the camera, something I don't always have in all these videos. Thanks for taking the time to watch, guys. I look forward to seeing you in my next video.